You are listening to Verba Manit, where words do remain. Hello and welcome to another episode of the podcast series Right the Wrongs. Every Wednesday and Saturday, Right the Wrongs raises public awareness on pressing human rights issues and creates an incubator of activism. Today we'll discuss the case of Gurnam Singh Chanduni, often called the hidden leader behind the current farmers' protests in India. Chanduni is a 61-year-old farm leader in the state of Haryana and Punjab. He was born in Churuni Jatan village in Shabad, Kurukshetra district. Although he has presented himself in local elections in 2014 and 2019, he's never been elected. He's therefore known mostly for his role as a farmer protester. He's the leader of the Haryana unit of the BKU, a farmers' representative organisation in India, and also a member of the SKM, a coalition formed in November 2020 of over 40 Indian farmers' unions to coordinate non-violent resistance against the controversial Farm Acts. After failing Class 10, he decided to help out his family of 7 siblings on the farm. Today, he's married and has 2 sons, one unemployed and the other rearing dogs. His first ever farmer protest dates back to 1992, where he protested against a hike in electricity tariffs for tube wells. Since then, he's participated in many farmers' issues where he's organised actions such as climbing water tanks. As of today, farmers from the northern states of Punjab, Haryana and Uttar Pradesh have been in open protests in the outskirts of New Delhi for over 9 months. The Haryana region particularly worries the BJP, as the unrest has kept the ruling people from their own constituencies. Chanduni sees the farm laws as being helpful for corporations to turn agriculture into a loss-making business, making it easier for farmers' lands to be grabbed. For him, he says, it's therefore a do-or-die battle for farmers who have to protest against them. In July 2020, he led the first important agitation against the farm laws, with farmers on almost 10,000 tractors. He also organised one of the first ever protests against the farm laws in Haryana's Pipli village. His influence in this conflict was demonstrated on the 10th of January, when his moving message, "I request you to teach them a lesson," drew a number of important farmers to come. Although he's not a politician, the BJP and JJP have both accused him of doing politics, rather than simply being a farmer leader. Indeed, he joined the recently formed Industrial Party from Punjab, the BAP. Let's go back to the stem of the issue, the 3 September 2020 farm laws, and trace developments up to the present day. The Farmers Trade and Produce Act of 2020, among other provisions, looks to introduce free market competition into the earlier very tightly knit Mandi system. The Mandi is essentially an exclusive zone for the trade and sale of agricultural goods. Here, traders and farmers have to be licensed by the Agricultural Produce Management Committees to trade. However, the Act moves to allow anyone with basic identification to enter the market, giving way to private players with no real stake in agriculture to enter the trade. The Mandi system going out the door, along with other provisions in the Act, increase the central government's involvement in the markets as opposed to the state governments, who have been overseeing these since their very existence. The Farmers Assurance and Price Assurance and Farm Services Act of 2020 provides a legal framework for them to enter into pre-arranged contracts with buyers, with predefined prices and dispute resolution mechanisms. This has been interpreted by critics as leaving agricultural workers to fend for themselves in front of private buyers, resulting in unfair deals with multinational corporations. The Farmers Agreement and Price Assurance and Farm Services Act of 2020 provides a legal framework for them to enter into pre-arranged contracts with buyers, with predefined prices and dispute resolution mechanisms. This has been interpreted by critics as leaving agricultural workers to fend for themselves in front of private buyers, resulting in unfair deals with multinational corporations. The Essential Commodities Act of 2020 now moves to remove foodstuffs such as potatoes and onions from the essential commodities list, hence removing the stockpiling limit on horticultural products except under extraordinary circumstances. This, combined with the other 2 acts, moves towards deregulation and centralisation in the previously heavily protected and decentralised Indian agricultural market. Prime Minister Narendra Modi referred to the bills as a watershed moment in the history of Indian agriculture, stating that the bills will ensure a complete transformation of the agricultural sector and empower tens of millions of farmers. But will they be able to stand against bigger corporations? The events that unfolded after September the 20th, when the bill was passed in the second House of Parliament, point towards a clear no. On the 25th, farm unions all over India called for a Bharat Ban, a nationwide shutdown to protest against these farm laws. The most widespread protests took place in Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh, but demonstrations were also reported in some southern states. Railway services remained suspended in Punjab for more than 2 months from October due to the protests. Following this, farmers from different states then marched to Delhi to protest against the laws, with farm unions taking over highway toll plazas in Haryana and allowing free movement of vehicles. Transport bodies such as the All India Motor Transport Congress, representing about 9.5 million truckers and 5 million bus and taxi drivers, have threatened to halt this movement of supplies in the northern states, and if the government fails to address the farmers' issues, to spread the movement nationwide. December saw counter-protests in support of the central government around the country. On the 26th of January, Republic Day, tens of thousands of farmers held a parade with a large convoy of tractors and drove into Delhi, but were barred from entering the central part, where the Republic Day parade was taking place. The tractor rally commenced from the Singhu border and was supposed to follow a designated route. However, as the rally progressed, it deviated and marched towards other routes. This led to violent clashes with the police. Protesters then entered the Red Fort, and one climbed a flagpole to hoist the Sikh Nishan Sahib flag below the Indian tricolour. The ensuing damage and fiasco led to some discredit being thrown on the movement. Chanduni has been recently criticised for saying that farm leaders should contest state assembly elections, while the ruling party, taking from this, tried to press the idea that the movement is driven by a political agenda. But the protests still stand despite the dangerous second wave of COVID-19 in May, along with fake news and the brutality at the Delhi border. The demands are clearly set before the central government, and they don't back down until they're met. That's the end of today's episode on Gurnam Singh Chanduni. Feel free to engage with us on Facebook and Instagram, and join us for further discussions on a Telegram group, or leave us a comment at theverbamanentpodcast@gmail.com. This episode was written by Zainab and Sanchit, recorded by Mason, produced by Ines, and brought to you by the Right the Wrongs under Verbamanent. The next episode of Right the Wrongs will air on Friday. You can find the program wherever you find your podcast, bringing you detailed updates on pressing human rights issues. Till next time, take care.